Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We're living the good life right here on TGLRadioshow.com. We are opening minds, living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. We have a full studio today. I am so excited. We're going to have lots of fun this morning. If you don't know about the show, something's wrong with you. But we do have a theme each and every week, and this week's theme is balance. So we break it down and we look at it from all different perspectives. So I have the studio full with all of my favorites for the first Tuesday of the month. I have none other, starting from my right. Henry, you're first, but you're a guy, but that's okay. I'm just going to go around the table. We have Henry Jolly, our resident relationship therapist, in the studio. Good morning, Henry. How are you?
Good morning, world. I've been great.
He said, good morning, world. I've been great. Well, you can't just pass it. We have to know how we get in touch with you.
Oh,
because somebody out there needs your services.
Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Henry Jolly _counselor. And also my phone number is 504-259-8671. Anybody needs counseling services, just let me know.
Just let him know. And we are going to continue to go around the table this morning. We have none other than Everything Else in the studio. She is here the first Tuesday of every month to make you crack up, to make you cry, to make your side hurt. She is an amazing comedian and actress from New Orleans, but she is taking over the world. Good morning, Els. How are you?
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Girl, we are amazing. Y'all about to balance me out this morning. Tell everybody how they can follow you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at everything_else, as well on Twitter as everything_else. So follow me for more laughs and comedy.
I'm not ready. And last but not least, we have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us this morning, of course. And we want her to tell us how we can get in touch with her. But also, she has a very special event coming up next month. I can't even believe it is like creeping up on us. So please tell us how they can get in touch with you and how they can become a part of your experience.
Yes, the second annual Black Women's Wellness Conference is January 13th, 2018 at the New Orleans Jazz Market, and we have none other than the fabulous Eileen Carter, who will be our MC for the event, so I'm very excited about that. And you can find information about that event under Eventbrite, BWWC18, eventbrite.com. You can also find information about the event on Facebook under Black Women's Wellness Conference 2018. And Wilborn Clinical Services is also on the web, www.wilbornclinicalservices.com, or you can give us a call, 504-509-3995.
All of that for all of us, and that is who we are. So make sure you go on TGLRadioshow.com, hit the watch now button. You can see what's going on right now in the studio. We are live. You can hit the podcast button and you can subscribe to our channel. So make sure you do that so you never miss a show. Okay, back to Relationship Tuesday, y'all.
Yes.
We all need a little bit of this in our lives. Y'all laughing. I'm so serious. Balance. We looked at it from an interesting point of view yesterday with Henry Bolden. If you did miss that show, you can go on TGLRadioshow.com and catch up with us there. But we are going to look at it from a different point of view with everyone in here. And I'll be perfectly honest, I don't even have points to let's point us in direction. I kind of just wanted to see what the flow was, kind of what your thoughts were on the topic, and not really guided this morning. I kind of wanted to be we literally have reality radio, but this is really going to be reality radio. So whatever pops up in your mind with regard to balance, I'd love your thoughts, especially with Henry and Dr. Wilborn, and of course Els as well. We're all different ages, and I love having you know, and at different points,
oldest.
and at different points, oh, Tammy, and at different points in our lives, you know, kids, young kids, older kids, you know, Tammy, you have a child who's going away, you know, Elle's actually to college, yeah, to college.
That could be something different.
Yeah, no, to college. You know, Els actually teaches kids. So we all have them from different points of view, and we need balance in our relationships with, but also with taking care of ourselves. And too often we don't do enough of that. Look at Elle's face. Too often we don't do enough with that. So who wants to jump in first? Y'all slow?
I think with any balance in comes communication. That's such an important factor, is to communicate everything, not just with your relationship with your partner, but relationships in general, with friendships and work relationships, things like that. You always need to communicate and take care of yourself. That's your number one priority with anything. I think we take care of other people, our relationships, our work relationships. We always look out to take care of other people and forget to take care of ourselves, you know? So you need to communicate. You're like,
Girl, my nail's not done right now. What you talking about?
We need to communicate that to ourselves to make sure we take care of ourselves. You know, that keeps us in balance. You know what I mean? So that's very important in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, you know, I think I was just having this conversation with a colleague yesterday. She and I were talking about an upcoming project, and she was saying how she has a problem communicating and saying to people no, right? Like letting people and being okay with saying no, because she's a people pleaser, and as a lot of people are. And so, you know, along with what Elle said, not only communicating, but also being willing to say no, and not not taking on more than you know you are capable or willing or even want to take on. But a lot of people don't do that for a number of different reasons. So being able to say no is also a way of I think, bringing some balance and also taking care of yourself.
How healthy is it to say no? Why is it important? And I'm going to throw that at Dr. Wilborn and then Henry, because look, he's marrying over there, and I already know Henry's about to buzz it up.
The engine started.
Right? I was like, I already know Henry is going to buzz it up. How important is it to say no, Dr. Wilborn? Like, you know, just like you said, so many of us are people pleasers. Sometimes it's physically hard for us to say no. You're like, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want to let somebody down, but are we letting ourselves down if we keep saying yes?
I mean, I think not only are we letting ourselves down, but for some of us, it physically becomes a problem when we don't set those boundaries and say no. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of us have multiple obligations. We have work, we have family, we have some people that have work, family, school, church. You know, you have all of these different responsibilities, and so you can't be great and perfect at all of those things. And so
What are you talking about?
Because you can't. You just can't. But we try to be, because that's
right.
You know, and I think when I think about a group of people in particular, I think about Black women. I think that's some of the issues that we struggle with, is this perception of us as strong women. And
girl, we are super women. Look, Els is raising her hand. We are super women. That's what they think.
I do a whole lot of stuff, but I don't have a cape nowhere. I mean, I'm a woman, but I ain't a superwoman, and so I have limitations, and I have had to learn in this age, I'm the oldest person in this room, and I'm proud of it. I had to learn how to say no and be okay with that. And for a long time, I just wasn't, because I am that person in my circle where everybody thought she could do everything. You know, she can do it all. She doesn't cry. She doesn't do it. You know, no. See me as a woman. Don't see me as some superwoman, superhero, you know, person. See me as a person first.
Henry, I'm going to throw it on you. And I have a question with it. I want your 2 cents as well as, and I know we as women feel that. Do guys feel that as well?
Absolutely, man. I think it starts when you're young. Like, you have to know when to say no. I remember being in elementary school, and I had a growth spurt eventually. But I used to be like the second shortest person in my class for like, man, kindergarten, first grade, all the way up to like 5th grade. And I don't like to use the word bully, but girls used to just look at me like a pushover or something. They used to like steal my jacket and take my hat and hold it up because I'm short. Yeah, you know, it probably was like they had like a little crush or something. But
it didn't feel good.
I got tired of that. Like, I'm like, man, like, why are these chicks always playing with me like that? Like, I don't like it. They think it's cute, but I don't like it. So eventually, like, once 6th grade came, and I'm like, look, I'm going to just let everybody know up front. No, like, don't play with me like that. I don't like it. Straight up. I'm not going to keep laughing, ha, 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 ha. It's not funny. Right. So if you do it and I don't find it funny, I ain't laughing.
Right.
I'm not going to keep playing along with something. And that's how That's how I live my adult life. I don't play along with stuff. If I don't like something, I'm gonna tell you. It ain't gonna. There's no guessing about it. I'm gonna just say, look, I didn't like that. This is why I didn't appreciate that, and what can we do to resolve it? I'm not playing along. I mean, too old for that.
I think you said something huge there, and I'm going to ask a question, throw that at Els, but I'd love everyone to answer the question. Playing along. That is so huge in every aspect of our lives. And look, it's 11:11, so it's right on time. Playing along. We do that in so many aspects of our. We do that in our relationships. We do that maybe with our children. We do that at school. We do that at work. We do that, with our job. You just play along, and you don't say how you feel until it builds up. And then you are physically out of balance and out of sorts, and you're not functioning properly. You may get headaches. You may not feel well. Your immune system may be down. You may get sick because you're not balanced, because you're not speaking your truth.
Right.
And you're playing along.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
I mean, then you explode, and then people like, well, what's wrong with him? I thought it was all good. Like, it's been not all good.
I think that really goes back to what you said about learning to say no. Sometimes as people pleasers, we just, we say yes and yes until it builds up, and then finally we explode. You know what I mean? So that goes back to just learn how to say no. And I did want to ask you, when do you think it is a good time to start saying no? Because I have that problem. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the Virgo in me. I'm a people pusher. I'm a people pleaser. It's so hard for me to say no. That's why I was so urgent that I got a manager, because I was not telling people no for things. And I was exhausted. I was overworked, and I forgot myself. To take care of myself.
You can't be funny if you're tired.
I cannot. I'm really mean when I'm tired. You know what I mean? You forget to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? So I think that goes back to just being in balance to say no, and be okay with it, because we can say no and then it eats away. Yes. Because I'd be like, oh man, I said no. I'm really exhausted, but maybe I really should have did that. Like, oh my gosh, I feel awful. No? Yes.
I need one.
I feel awful. You know what I mean? So when does it become okay?
Henry,
I can answer that. I think you should say no if it's hurting you. So if something that's really hurting you, then say no. And hey, I'm really tired. I wish I could, but right now is not a good time. I have people, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a salesman. And sometimes people ask for deals, and look, sometimes I can do deals, sometimes I can't. Listen, right now is really not a good time for me to do a deal. I got a lot going on. Can't do that today. Sorry. And I say no in a nice way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't just go with it and, but we boys and all that. Hey, listen, I really wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah. People.
Because it'll hurt me if I say yeah.
Right. Lee. Can't say. Good. Dr. Will, get in on this.
Well, I think the question is an important question, and I think the response that Henry gave is an important response. Is when do you need to say no, and having a response at the moment that you realize that not saying no is detrimental to you. I mean, and sometimes that's hard because, again, I go back to people who have to balance multiple obligations. Sometimes you have to go through, okay, I know this isn't good for me, but if I say no, what are the consequences of that? And sometimes the consequences of saying no at times outweighs it affecting you. Henry's ready to get in on it.
You talking about Joel Osteen? Leave that man alone.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm just messing with you.
Wait, tell me. Wait, now you got to tell us. What are you talking about?
But
he's
the
done.
Church thing.
Well,
I
I'm thinking about, especially like, for example, when I was a single mother. There were a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities that I took, knowing that I was exhausted, knowing that I, wanted to be home with my son, knowing that there were a lot of things that I wanted to do, but that was the sacrifice that I made time-wise, physical-wise, so on and so forth, because I knew that I was trying to get to the next step. And so I think you also have to balance it, and know whether or not the consequences of saying no are going to outweigh whatever it is, that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes that is hard to know in the moment. Sometimes you have to kind of take a step back and really reflect on, okay, what are the pros and cons of me making this decision or not?
Gotcha. Okay, well then I want to kind of push back a little bit on what Elle said and ask, what do we do when we know that no is the right answer and know that that's what we need to do, but we feel a little guilty about it? Like, I know I'm supposed to say no because it's not good for me. I do say no, but I feel guilty. Like, how can I, balance that out? Look at Henry's like, I got this. Like, how do you balance that out? I know it's the right decision. I said no and I did it, and now I just don't feel good about it.
Well, when you're a public figure like Els, like Stephen Curry, I don't know if y'all saw that video of that kid. Did you see that kid who showed up to the Warriors game? It was like before the game, after the game. It was like his 7th birthday, and he was sitting in the crowd. And he's begging like all these players to sign his jersey. And Kevin Durant, all other Warriors players signed it. Steph Curry, who's his favorite player, and he had his jersey on, and he's waiting for Steph Curry to come sign his jersey. And Steph Curry just looks at him and just like looks over him, and he's like, Steph, I love you, I love you. And I'm like, dang, he just dissed this man. Well, now we got phones everywhere, so somebody recorded that and posted that, and man, he's getting so much backlash for dissing that little dude. So my point is, when you're a public figure, even though he might have not wanted to do that, there are big repercussions when you say no, because in Steph Curry, his wife went on Twitter saying he was looking for a family member. Okay, I get it, but people don't care about that. You could have signed that man's jersey. Now, that's not my opinion, but that's what the world feels. He could have signed that jersey, and there's big repercussions. So you got to think, when you do say no, what bad could come from that? Will more damage come from that than good? So that's what you got to think about. When you're a public figure, I think, it's extra things to consider.
But what if you're not a public figure?
I'm saying no. Because I don't. I'm
privately
not worried
say
about
no.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not. No, I'm not in the public's eye. So no is no.
So people who aren't, and I want both sides of that coin. The people who aren't in the public eye, saying no and feeling a little bit of guilt. What is that guilt? Where is that guilt coming from, or why do we feel guilty for saying no? And how do we balance that out so that you aren't feeling that way? Because I've said no and then kind of felt guilty. I'm like, but I know it was the best thing for me because I didn't feel good, or I simply didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? There are times where you're like, I simply don't want to, and I should not have to give a reason. I shouldn't have to justify that I don't want to. Yes. I just don't want to.
I think people, whoever you're telling no, make you feel guilty. Because the first time you tell them no, maybe, it's like you never said yes. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's like they make you feel guilty for saying no. It's like, I do this, maybe it's an event or something they want you to go to, and it's like, oh, no, today I'm tired. And they're like, oh, today? No? Is she telling me no? But it's like, I tell you yes all the time. Like, this one time, I need me time.
Right.
This is. But people will make you feel guilty.
Yeah.
I just don't like that, because I swear it's like the first time you tell them no, it's like you never said yes at all to them.
I'm gonna give you some more material. What about the people who like to create your schedule? Look at both of their faces. They all look.
You're gonna plan my day for me. That's
right.
basically
Yes.
what you're gonna
Y'all
do.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh, I have this one day off this weekend, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and then other people come and like create your weekend for you, and you're like,
I don't know about y'all, but let me tell you who does that all the time. Mothers. Mamas do that all the time. Oh, my daughter help you. Oh, go help your auntie. Ma. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. I'm not going to be able to do that today for you at all. Like, my mother will create your day schedule for you. She really would. Like, oh, Leah, she'll help you do that. You need, no, you're not. You need to review this with me, especially because, like, I'm very busy nowadays. Mm-hmm. My little off time that I get, my little days to me, right. My bed deserves that for sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do.
And you shouldn't have to explain yourself.
Yes. Recently, my brother was trying to clean out his house or something. He just bought a new house, and my mom was like, called me and was like, "What you doing this weekend?" I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Right.
Because I know you had something planned. That's the reason you called. So I don't. Yeah, that would drive me insane. Like, do not plan my days for me.
We are going to take a quick break. Do not move your dial. We're talking about balance in, so many different aspects of our lives, especially with regard to our relationships with our significant others, with our parents, with our family, our friends, our jobs, all of it. We need a little bit more balance. And so we're going to go into the break with our brand new segment of affirmations. So open your mind.
Is that thing recording what it sees on there?
This?
Yeah.
This is recording this.
Oh, all right. I was like, why everybody boobs is on the thing? But you gotta open it to
Right.
Okay. I was like,
Okay.
is she talking? There's nothing but her boobs on it. I'm like,
Look at you looking at. Because it was like that.
You
So
I
it's
was,
only
saw
the
it
bottom,
too.
yeah.
I saw it. I knew it was like that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
No, it's here.
Gotcha.
I can see your full. I can see y'all's fullness right here. Good morning, y'all. How are you? Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing affirmations week. I should be doing it
What
too.
kind of radio show is that? What
Huh? What, boobs.
I forgive myself.
Trying to get more viewers.
the-
Yes, you know. Psh. Oh, today's game day. I want to get with you. Y'all, Henry is a basketball genius. I want to get with you with regard to him jumping.
Yes.
I talked to him about it. He was like, yeah, he wants to do it. So, what is he supposed to do? Is it like you can give him a written...
Yeah.
My son plays basketball.
Y'all
Today's
make
his first
some
day.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tammy.
So-
Born owner.
Oh, that's Tammy. Oh, that's her. Y'all see her?
You got any connection with Gems out there?
Gems?
Yeah, I need a
Yeah.
gem.
A Dries YMCA uptown.
Who you know there?
Lots of people. It's a community gym. They could help you do something. And it's really nice. It's
After the show, we
indoor.
gonna talk.
After the show is after party, and after the party there's a hotel lobby and yep.
The original was trying.
Fiesta. That's all I know, y'all. That's all I
That's
got
when
this
I used
morning.
to like R. Kelly. I don't like R. Kelly.
Oh wait, I don't like R. Kelly at all. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Like the
I have no love for R. Kelly.
I was pre-R. Kelly.
And not saying I can't forgive people for their stuff, but it's just like, you know, like repeat offenders. I can't do the repeat offenders. I can't. Like, I can forgive you, but like when you're a repeat offender, I'd be like, I'm gonna let the Lord, like, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna let the Lord deal with you. I just gonna stay in this lane over
I
here.
feel like that still could be true though. Like when I heard the news about the little girls, I was like, I don't doubt this. You know how most information that comes out on celebrities, you be like, sometimes this may not true. But when I heard that about R. Kelly, I was like, I could see that actually.
Right.
This is not
Right.
shocking to me actually.
Right.
You know.
And you know, his
It really
ex-wife,
is.
you know, is a
He's
beautiful
very
woman,
talented.
When I
and
was
she has a
coming up, they
petite
used to have a
frame,
video going
you know,
around
like
back in the
a
day.
younger person.
Yeah.
His girlfriend is only 19 years old though. She's very young.
So what does it show you?
I just was
Repeat offender. I just can't, like, I can't separate.
Aaliyah was 15.
I can't.
Yes.
I can't
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah.
I
You
just.
don't even know how. Let me show you.
I can't
Like,
separate.
you like R. Kelly? You're a fan?
Nah, I don't. I'm saying, you dating somebody that young, you know. Let me just show you.
Pedophiles.
Yeah.
I don't like
Right.
That's
And it's so
terrible.
crazy because he's so talented. You know, he really is.
Yes.
And you ain't gotta get nobody that young. Get
No,
a
you
real
got
woman.
grown women that's
He don't like
we-
him. He don't like him.
Yeah,
Clearly.
pedophiles don't like adults.
Oh, that's terrible.
Y'all look a hot mess today, but it's quite all right. I wasn't feeling well this morning, but it's all right. I'm here for y'all. And Aiden has his first game today. All right, Purple Knights.
Football, basketball?
Basketball. You want 4:30?
Who
gotta go back
they
to
play?
Holy Cross. At Holy Cross. We're about to go
They
beat
playing my
that
boys? Uh-oh.
bottom.
Hold on, I might have to show up. Support my boy.
Everyone definitely is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on TGLRadioshow.com. We are opening minds, living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. But if you ever miss a show, you can always find us online at TGLRadioshow.com. And guess what I have coming up in the works, y'all? I have all of my shows on a new platform, Spreaker.com. I used it for a little while. I was like, but I'm back on it. And so I'm building an app. So so you'll be able to get us wherever you are. So I'm working on it right now. So I want to have it done for January. So anywhere you are, you can just like get the app and you can listen to us all the time. And what the best part about the app is it'll be playing all the time. So you can hear the show from the day. I'll try to figure out what times are good, probably like 2 or 3 times a day, and then like plug in different ones as well. So it will be Good Life all the time. Yes. So we are growing. If you would like to join us, make sure you give us a call at 504-4 1-800-400-7127, or email me, Eileen, EILEEN, at tglradioshow.com. Now, back into the show, we have none other than our relationship therapist, resident, Henry Jolly. You can find him at where? Henry Jolly.
You can find me
You can find me in the club.
You can find me on Instagram.
What you need.
It's Henry Jolly _counselor. And also phone number is 504-259-8671. Once again, 504-259-8671.
And we have none other than the Everything Els in the studio with us. She is here the first Tuesday of every month. Els, tell them about you and how they can follow you.
You can follow me. I'm Everything Els. You can follow me on Instagram at everything_Els, as well on Twitter. Find me, follow me for more laughs and comedy.
Y'all, she is absolutely hilarious. Make sure you do that today. And last but not least, we have Dr. Tammy Wilborn. She gives us insight, and she be dropping the knowledge right here on the Good Life Radio Show. Dr. Tammy, how can they find you, and how can they join your wellness experience? I like to call it experience in January.
It's definitely an experience. So the second annual Black Women's Wellness Conference, you can register on Eventbrite at bwwc18.eventbrite.com. You can also learn more about that event on the Facebook page. The community we have is Black Women's Wellness Conference 2018. And then Wilborn Clinical Services is also on Facebook under Wilborn Clinical Services. And we have a website, wilbornclinicalservices.com.
All of the above. So make sure you follow us and, use our services. Why? Because they're great. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. So back into the show. But before we go into the show, because this still has a little bit to do about balance, shout out St. Aug, because they're going to go. They have their first game today, their 8th grade, against Holy Cross. And so I was talking with Henry, because, that's where he went. So there's a little rivalry up in the studio this morning. I got on my purple jacket. I have on my St. Aug jacket this morning, in honor of their first game. And Henry came in here and with some yellow on. And I'm assuming it's for Holy Cross, but you know how it is going to go down today. So tomorrow I will let you know how we whipped up on them. Yes, I'm all about it. I drank the Kool-Aid. It is what it is. So we're going to jump back into balance. It may be finding your voice. It may be in all of these different areas. How do you start? Is acknowledging it kind of like step one, or I don't know. That's why I have y'all up in the studio with me. Dr. Wilborn.
It certainly could be. I want to go back to a point that Els made, because I think there's an opportunity to maybe tease out another perspective. And so I think the point was that people can make you feel guilty, and there are those people that they're so used to you saying yes that the one time that you say no, they're like often surprised and mad and frustrated. And I think what's telling about that statement is that the time before you said no, you've been saying yes.
Yes.
And so people invite, there's this sort of saying that we like to say is, treat people how you want to be treated. And I think we've got that all wrong. I think we need to treat ourselves how we want other people to treat us. And so by doing that, we model for people how we want to be treated. And so if I have modeled for you that asking me and me saying yes is okay, they're going to do that. They're going to continue to ask you. They're going to continue to expect from you the things that you've been showing them is okay. But if you model and let people know this is my boundary, this is where I start, this is where I end, then you teach people how to interact with you. And so some people are not able to do that on their own. And so sometimes it requires reflection, but sometimes it requires professional help.
Right.
Go sit down and talk with a counselor about...
Which I thoroughly suggest.
Oh, absolutely. As a counselor, I believe in counseling. I think everybody can benefit from counseling. And sometimes counselors can kind of help you sort through what are those experiences that you have had. Henry talked earlier about childhood experiences with bullying and so on and so forth. A lot of times people have childhood experiences that affect the way they interact in relationships, whether healthy or not. And so sometimes sitting down and talking with somebody professionally can help you sort of unpack those experiences that contribute to not only how you see yourself, but how you see other people and how you interact with other people. But sometimes if it's not professional help, you mentioned, Eileen, we could be out of balance financially. Again, if you're not a good person, you're not a good steward of your money, again, seeking out people outside of you who can help you find that balance, because sometimes it is hard to find it on your own, and you do need to go outside of yourself to help for somebody to help you figure it out. But your point is you have to acknowledge that first.
Right.
You have to acknowledge that this is an area you struggle in. And for some people, it's hard for them to say they can know that their life is out of balance, but not be willing to do something different to bring balance back to their lives.
And it's funny that I did bring up the financial, but it's funny that you kind of rounded that out, because there's so many times where that is something that it starts there. Or, something may be out of balance financially, and then, you're not talking about it. And then right, Els is rolling her eyes, I'm going to throw it to you next. And so with that, then, you're not talking to your significant other. You are, short with your kids. And then all of your other relationships start falling out of balance because it may be one thing that has absolutely nothing to do with them. And so just speaking to that, for you all who have been watching the show and paying attention and following, y'all know I'm in counseling because I want to be a better person. I want to heal those inner child things, and anything that I need to figure out, I want to figure them out. And I know it's a journey. I will never be perfect, but I can always be whole. Yes, I love that new word. So anyway, with that being said, I decided, I'm going to go through every aspect of my life because I know this, but I don't know that, and that. So I got a counselor, and I also went to see a financial advisor. So if y'all remember Kenneth Barnes from KB Enterprises, he started with me here. He was here for about almost 2 years, and then he grew so big and bad, he's literally all over the world. But I called him, and we sat down on Friday, and we literally laid out a plan, and I cannot tell you how much better I feel. And it's funny because I was like, now look, we're not dealing with, we are not dealing with the million. We will be, but today we're not. And so he's like, no, Eileen, this is how it works. And he showed me so many different ways that my money can grow faster than I could have ever imagined. But it's sitting down and humbling yourself to have those conversations and not being ashamed or fearful or guilty or anxious about it, because it's your money, you're like, oh, but I was like, look, this is what it is, and it can only, this is the smallest it will ever be. It will grow from here. But if I don't ever sit down and take those chances, I will always be in balance with regard to that. And with my emotions, if I don't sit down and talk to somebody and figure out why I do this or why this works the way it is or why I react this way, I will never find out. And so if we can go through the different aspects in our lives to find balance, I promise you it will lead to the good life. I promise, whatever that looks like for you. So Els, with that being said, because you were nodding your head over here, what's your teeth on it?
Yes, I agree with everything, especially the financial aspect. I think once you get your finances in order and everything else becomes clear-minded. My mom used to tell me all the time, it's the same thing with the house, like your cluttered house, you can't really think. Mm-hmm. You think like my house is just junky or dirty. I'm fine though. That's not what's cluttering my mind. But right. You'll be surprised how if you walk into a room and once it's clean, your mind, you really feel relaxed. Like, man, I can really enjoy
I'm going
this.
home and finish cleaning my house.
Yes,
thank you.
From top to bottom.
I had a load on the sofa. I need to fold.
My girl, you be all on top of the ceiling sweeping. Yes. You don't even know what you're doing with the room on top of the ceiling. You be sweeping, just trying to clean up that house.
That fabulosity.
Yes.
Smelling good.
But I think it's just like clutter. It's like clearing your mind, and it creates a balance. The same way with finances or work environment or anything like that. And that goes back to communication, you know. If you, not just with your finances, but any work relationship, personal relationship, if you communicate whatever problems you're going through, to your spouse or to your partner or to your friends or family, it creates less clutter in your mind, and that gives you a smooth kind of balance, So... Yes. I agree with everything, especially the counseling. Girl, yeah. To sign me up.
Girl, sign me up.
Make me feel a little whole.
All right, Henry, go ahead. Give us that male perspective.
When I hear the word balance, when it comes down to relationships, I think it's important to balance responsibilities. Mm. So you kind of know what your role is in a relationship, because let's face it, nobody's perfect. And one person shouldn't be doing everything. Mm-hmm. And also, people don't like to talk about this, but there's always, you have to have a balance of power too. Mm-hmm. And man, a lot of people have issues because it's a power struggle. And I never understood that, because if you talk about everything up front, like Al said, you wouldn't have that confusion going on. You should know who is in control of this situation. And when I say control, I don't mean it in a negative way where it's like something like a authoritarian type of thing.
Right.
I mean...
Like, well, who's responsible?
Yeah, responsible, right. So, like, I like to use the Batman and Robin term. One person might be Batman in one situation, another one be Robin, and it's vice versa. So the roles interchange. So if I'm better with managing money, and you're better with managing the children's lives, I guess. I don't say life because that's a big thing, but managing what everybody's
schedules, maybe.
Yeah, their schedule, or what time they're going to bed and what time's dinner and all that stuff. So I just think people shouldn't have that power struggle in their relationship. You got to balance that and know what your roles are. Know what each other's roles are.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna throw it at you because we're gonna go around and I'm gonna end with Dr. Wilborn. So I'm gonna make you wait. I already know how she is. What happens when we are out of balance in our relationships? Because so many people are. It just happens. It's one of those things that it just my experience, life's are kind of like a seesaw. You go back and forth with different things, and you're a lot more serene per se when you're a little bit more balanced in life with regards to whatever it is. But we do have experiences and we do have relationships, and there are times where it's out of balance. It could be out of balance at work, where you are, have a team and you are literally holding it all for the team. When do you speak up and say something? How do you balance that out? Or it's at work and at home. And let's just say it's the chores at home. And, you got the kids, maybe because of their schedules, they're not holding up their end of the bargain and they're not doing it. So you're doing everybody's chores and then you're dragging yourself down. Or let's just say it's romantic, in your partnership where, you're holding up one part of the bargain and the other person isn't. And Henry, I'm going to throw you a bone with this one, even with you, the one that's always, opening up the romantic side of it, the balance there, they have people who are like, I think that it should be a two-way street with that. Yeah. And so, there's so many different ways that we need to balance. I know you're like, because I'm sure they have women out there who are saying and guys out there who are saying but we need to be balanced in so many aspects of our lives because one person starts to feel the weight of it if it's not.
I feel like in every situation you need to have like a board meeting. Like no matter what's going on. My wife and I have been together for 7 years, going on 8. And I can't tell you how many times we agreed to something and then a year later we got to reevaluate that. Like, hold up, things have changed, so now I might need you to step it up in this department, or I might need you to do this. From everything, the money, the sex, anything, we gonna have a sit down and talk about it. We ain't gonna just do something and then scratch our heads like what went wrong. Now we're gonna get a game plan together, and when that don't work, we're gonna go back to the drawing board and change it up. You have to talk about everything, and I feel like too many couples don't do that. They just go with the flow. Oh, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. Nah, man, you need to have a game plan of what you want to do and just do it. And things are gonna change. People change, okay? So you can't expect you to agree to something. You may agree to something that you realize you can't uphold anymore. So you may be the problem, not the other person. But you need to be mature enough and honest enough to recognize that. Say, listen.
Recognizing and voicing it can be two different things. Though I could recognize it all day long and be like really salty that I'm the one, holding a little bit more weight, or I'm the one passive aggressive. Right? Yeah, passive aggressive, exactly. But voicing it so that you can create that balance.
Yeah, you would be surprised at how far you would get with being open and honest about situations. I've seen a guy tell his wife, "Listen, I've been trying for years to stop cheating, and I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know what else I'm gonna tell you, baby. Stop. I've tried to stop. I can't." So what do you do?
I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna get back on that when we get back. Henry just dropped it. What do you say about that? I will. I'm gonna go into my affirmation so I can quiet my mind, and I will have all of us respond to that on the other side of the break. Do not go anywhere. This is Relationship Tuesday in the Good Life.
Relationship Tuesday affirmations with Eileen.
What do we say? What do I say? Did I know for fact? I have that.
I am loved.
Now let me do my affirmation. I am loved exactly as I am now. I gotta do my affirmation.
You got a choice to make, and I think
I give and receive
I
love
give and
effortlessly
receive love
and
effortlessly
unconditionally.
and unconditionally.
I accept everyone as they are.
I accept everyone as they are. There you
I
go.
forgive myself and others.
I forgive myself and others. See, this is good
I
for
am
you.
open to healthy and nurturing relationships.
I am open to healthy and nurturing relationships. See,
By
Henry?
repeating these affirmations,
See, Henry?
we begin to
That
change our
worked.
thoughts and our lives. Let's walk into the good life together.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to respect
Oh, you
that.
can't hear. That's like a commercial.
I
have
know,
those
but I'm
recorded.
just trying to respect that time to be quiet.
So the dude has been cheating for years, and he was like, went in the council with him, and he's like, listen, I'm sorry, I can't stop. And they keep being with the same chick.
Is this DMX that you're talking
No,
about? Because
this
he
is
did a
real.
counseling session like
Right.
no, he
Might have
really
been.
did.
Wait. Nah, it really wasn't DMX.
Oh.
Nah. But
He honestly told his wife, he was like, I'm not going to stop. This is just me. This is who I am. You know, you can stay or you can leave.
yeah, that's basically
felt
what
so
this
bad
dude
for his
said.
wife, though.
And the wife was like, but why? And I'm like, man, he just said what he gonna do. I mean, I don't know what
Yeah,
else
when
to tell
somebody
you.
shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she thinks she could do something different. I'm like,
Maybe I can change him. Yeah.
You're
And
not
he telling her I
changing
like
that.
variety.
But the Lord's changing that.
so I'm like, man, basically
In my
what he said, if you can't morph into somebody else,
Yes. And
That's
you
it.
know what? People get angry about that, but you really have to respect their honesty. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I respect
Like,
it.
I would really be like, thank you for being honest with me. I appreciate it. I'm not with it, so I'm going to leave. But I do appreciate your
Yes.
honesty. Seriously.
Right.
Like, because most people will lie about it. So I do. I
Right.
really do
That's why
appreciate your
people lie.
honesty. I don't want to be, I'm not,
See?
for it. I don't want to be in this type of relationship of coming and going. No, that's okay. But, thank
But you know what? There is someone who will be willing
Yes,
to be in
there
that.
is. There's multiple people in the world. There's many fish in the sea. Go find one of them.
they
Throw
are.
me back in the ocean.
but see,
Right.
there are many fish in the sea that would accept that, but that man he want his
His fish
goody
in
two
other
shoes. He want that one.
No, leave me alone.
See, so that's why he lied to her for all that time. Because he's like, if I tell the truth, she gonna leave.
But
I
why,
know she
but
not
why
that
does
kind
he
of
want
woman.
her that bad if he doesn't want her?
Strange.
First of all, there's more people like me, I'm sure. Go find them. Please.
Right.
Do leave me. Throw me back. I'm fine.
Right.
You gotta
Like,
give yourself enough credit. How
You have somebody on Facebook saying you need the encyclopedia of understanding women.
who need that?
That's what the guy on Facebook is saying that's watching the show from Facebook
I
saying you need
know.
an encyclopedia for understanding women.
Oh.
I'm
They need to
sorry,
create
y'all. I
that.
had closed my thing.
I thought it's
Thank you,
being.
Dr.
This is
King.
somebody. I'm like, wait.
He is. He dissing women. He's saying we complicated. What you
But women
get?
will say, just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. You tell them the truth, and then it's off with your head.
Yeah.
No, but I think if you tell us the truth, we may leave. The men don't be ready to accept the fact that we may leave.
Right.
Yeah, he don't.
Right.
That's
Let me
that's
lie some
cheeky.
more.
That's selfish
That's
and
cheeky.
cheeky.
That's
Let me
cheeky.
keep
We gonna
lying.
start.
Yeah, that's cheeky.
Throw it to me. I got something I'm just playing.
Good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on TGLRadioshow.com. We are opening minds, living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. I am here in the studio with none other than Henry Jolly, Everything Else, and Dr. Tammy Wilborn. We're going to jump into the conversation so we can make sure we get these last 10, 12 minutes in. And I want to make sure that I give a shout out to Edward Craig, who is live on Facebook, and he is going back and forth with us, giving us some information. Shout out, Craig, because actually, yin yang, I have that tattooed on my body. Oh, hey, Ashley. That's Henry's wife. She's watching live as well. And so he was saying that we are getting into some deep waters here. And Henry and Els, I'd love y'all to give us a summary, because for those of y'all who don't watch live, you missed some stuff during the break. But we went into the conversation of, because Henry threw out before the break of the guy who was cheating, and he told his wife basically that is just what it is. So Henry, kind of bring us back up to speed.
Yeah, I mean,
It is what it
the
is.
dude was being as real and as transparent as you could possibly be. He just told his wife, listen, I'm sorry. I know you keep catching me cheating. Keep catching me, because it's what I want to do, and I'm not trying to hurt you, but I'm not going to stop. So I'm just being real. So the wife had
Look at Elsa's face. And you were getting thick.
the wife had a choice to make. Am I gonna stay or leave? So if she want that man,
should I go?
but look, if she want that man, there's a lot to digest. So she gotta say to herself, okay, do I feel like I could do better? Do I want to do better? That's the main thing. Do I want to do better? And what is better? Because what if this guy, and this is for her standards, what if this guy is the perfect man outside of that? Okay, he lies about this one thing, but now he's decided to not lie about it anymore. Okay. So now he's being honest about something that makes him not a liar anymore. I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just saying,
no, I
in her head,
a different
the choice she has to make. So she can get rid of him and get something else.
But a lot of people find themselves in this situation. This isn't like, just a random thing.
Yeah, man, so look.
This is real life. It's not just, guys. This is women too.
But see,
on both sides, yeah.
But see, you know what's crazy? What if she had, this hypothetical, because I don't know this for a fact, but what if she had like some odd fetish or something that she had never been saying to him because she's scared, he might judge me a certain way. So now here's her time to come out the closet now.
I think that would have been a perfect time for her to say whatever that she had at the time. That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like I'd have said, if you like to lick feet, then that's your business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now would be the perfect time to it would be the perfect time to say that.
I hate those.
But I think if we were just saying this off air though, when you said the scenario of the man, being honest, saying, I want multiple women, not just you. Like I told you off air, you have to respect his honesty a lot of.
I'd rather you tell me than not tell me.
Me too. I'd rather you just be upfront and honest and say, you know what, I'm gonna cheat. That's
what's the reward though? So you want to be rewarded for telling you the truth.
You can be rewarded. Your reward would be freedom. You get a lot of women. You know what I mean?
The reward is not living with the shame, the fear, and the guilt anymore. That's your reward.
The weight of the guilt is weighing down.
When you lose his girl, he has another one.
He has many of them. You can go. You can now be free. You can get 35 to 60 women at a time if you want. I just won't be one of them. And you have to respect her. I think when you come honest about that, you have to respect her choice and say, when I do come honest, there's a possibility that I may lose her, Am I willing to do that? You need to understand that may be a consequence, You can't expect her to be, babe, that's totally fine. You want to be with 16 women? Well, I'll be number 17.
Right.
Women are not always, that on board, So you have to respect her just like she's going to respect you. I would just tell them personally, like, hey, thank you for your honesty. I don't want to be with you. But, some girl down the line would appreciate that. And you're going to find somebody who does, accept that,
And Henry, we've had this conversation. There are people who are down for it because they're not looking for a relationship right now. But if someone is looking for a relationship, I don't think that you should hurt people. Why go into it and hurt somebody else when you're going to hurt them because they want an exclusive relationship and you're not willing to offer it?
Here's what's funny about the whole thing. So the wife was like, well, go be with her. He's like, I don't want her. I want you, but I'm just playing with her. Like, I want to have fun with her, but I want you for real. See what I'm saying? So, obviously, it's not that easy to find another one of her, and he don't want another one of her. He want her. So,
well, no, he doesn't.
I mean,
he wants her, and
it's very. You can find a ample amount of women. Polygamy is becoming very popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Find somebody who's involved with that community. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't bring down another woman or hurt another woman because just like you say, hurt people. It's a continuous cycle. You don't string nobody along. And I don't know how much time they had invested, but just say they were just 15 years in. You know what I mean? You just wasted 15 years of my life because now I have to leave you.
Now
you know what I mean? Salty. Like, now I'm very salty. So.
And now she might go get with another dude that do the same thing. Now you're going to waste more time. So stick with that one.
No. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. No. Dr. Wilborn, help us out, please. I don't know if I can help you.
I mean, I think it definitely goes back to, again, knowing who you are and what you can accept and what you cannot accept, because I think it's very true that there are people who engage in polyamorous relationships and are quite fulfilled, and it's not necessarily because they're in a hurt spot, but in terms of sexual and affectional attraction, they're open to multiple sexual partners, and that's and here's the thing, consent is sexy, okay, and so if everybody is consenting to the design of the relationship, you good, right?
Right.
So in the case of Henry's what I like to call case study, you know, if in the husband's honesty, the wife's response was, "I appreciate your honesty. This hurts me," and then whatever she reflected on and decided that was something she was willing to consent to, then she gets to do that, and that relationship is intact, and so on and so forth. But the problem becomes when you don't have equal consent in the relationship, and so you know,
it's out of balance.
It's imbalance, right? I mean, and you know, Henry's point was I think perfect insofar as, and Elle, she made this point earlier too, is that you start off communicating what are the parameters of the relationship. But relationships evolve over time. People evolve within those relationships over time. And so the original contract of the relationship may need to be renegotiated. We need to come back to the table and talk about it. Now, we came back to the negotiation table and you said, you know, I got this boo I've been... If that's not a part of the contract for you, contract, right? But that requires a level of self-honesty first. You got to be honest with yourself in terms of what you can deal with in a relationship. Personally, my value is monogamy. So if my husband came to me and said, you know, we was sort of renegotiating this contract for him to include somebody else, I would say, you know, you're a good guy, I love you, you're a great father, but that's not something I know I cannot be in this relationship and be good to you as your partner with this part in our relationship. It's not going to work.
Right.
But that's me being honest with myself. Now, everybody's not honest with themselves for whatever reason, and I think that's where counseling comes into play, because you got to look at what is it about me that allows me to engage in a relationship that I know is not good for me, but I'm gonna do it anyway, you know. And I hear a lot of women in particular, I don't want to be alone. I don't want, you know, some man is better than having no man at all. And I always tell people there is no worse state of loneliness than to be lonely in a relationship. You got a lot of lonely people in a relationship.
Girl.
For real. Could I get an amen on that?
It's true.
Because there's imbalance and there's lonely.
Girl, you already alone. What you talking about?
Yes. I don't want you sitting in my house and I gotta wonder what you there for.
What you there for?
What are you here for?
I'm in bed, but you're not. You somewhere else.
Hello.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they're already in a relationship. They single. I don't want to be single, girl. You've been single for the last 3 years. That man hasn't been home. You're not single.
Laughing at you like it's so true.
Yes.
Right.
You better go sit down with a puppy and a billy goat in the corner and keep you some company, baby.
Straight up.
No man Pam, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Pam.
That is ridiculous. I find I was just watching something yesterday with Tamara Mowry, and she was saying, I love being sometimes when you're single, a lot of women don't want to hear that it's okay to be single. You know, her mom used to tell her all the time, when you're single, it's your time to learn yourself and just let God rub up all on you and love up on you. You know, let him work on you. That's your time to work on you. How you going to be in a relationship if you don't even know how to be by yourself?
Yeah.
You have to make yourself whole and learn how to be by yourself before you can be with anybody else. You don't go in a relationship half, you go in and whole.
Absolutely.
You know?
You can't find yourself in somebody else.
Yes.
Henry.
People do. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, I can't really add to that. I mean, that was 100. I've always felt that way. I feel like, you know, when you're single, that's your off season. That's training camp to get ready for the regular season. Once you find that person who's worthy of having your time, I don't feel like people should just jump into relationships. You know, people took the time out to get to know somebody first. Like, really just get to know them. Don't even start off with all of this, oh, I just love you so much. No, like, let's just be cool.
Do you really love me? I think, like, when you really love me.
You don't even know me.
You don't even know me
I might
love
be
me.
crazy as
Because I have
all
all
I
kind of stuff I didn't tell you yet.
Yes.
So I know you, right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm showing you the good side of me. You didn't even get the bad side yet. My bad side is so ugly. You're not going to like it.
That's so true.
Learn
You don't
me.
even know me yet.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We are opening minds to living differently in the world. We had the full team in here today. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Henry, give us the information on how people can find you.
All right, so Instagram, HenryJolly_counselor, and also my phone number is 504-259-8671. 504-259-8671.
Everything else, she is here the first Tuesday of every month. I'm excited that she is a part of the family. Tell us how we can follow you.
it alarmed me when he gave out phone numbers. I'm thinking, are we giving out phone numbers on air? I don't know how to do that. I was just like, what's happening? You guys can follow me on Instagram at everything_else, and that's on Twitter as well at everything_else. My contact and booking email and everything else is on my Instagram page. You can contact me through there, and it's always a pleasure to be up here with you guys. I enjoy myself.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, you are a wonderful addition to the crew. And Dr. Tammy Wilborn, how can they follow you? And tell us about your wellness in January, wellness experience, I should say.
Second annual Black Women's Wellness Conference registration is going on now. So register at bwwc18.eventbrite.com. Register now. Your lovely host here, Eileen Carter, is going to be the MC for the event. I'm so excited about that. Outside of that, WilbornClinicalServices.com. We're on Facebook under Black Women's Wellness Conference 2018 and Wilborn Clinical Services.
Follow me now because, I'm not a hot girl. But open your mind to living differently in the world. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Relationship Tuesday. You can go online at tglradioshow.com, catch up on all of your shows. And tomorrow, I'm really excited. I told you we had a bunch of new segments. We're going to have the barbers, or some of the barbers from Case Close. It'll be Barbershop Talk. Wait, that's your people?
Yeah.
That's my people. Jay Strix, he keeps me fresh and faded. So if you're wondering who keeps me together, it is, look, I put him on the list. Jason Strickland. I said his government name. So people can be like, oh, calling Jason today. But thanks for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Open your mind, y'all. See y'all tomorrow.
How old are you? Because she always making fun of your age by how young you are.
I'm making fun of her age.
All right, not fun, but
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. How old do I look?
Good morning. How are you?
26.
Thank you,
I hear
Edward.
23.
Thank you, Edward, for
Yeah.
chiming in. I appreciate each and every one
Man, I
of
should've
y'all.
lied and said
And
30.
we are out.
I would have
I
been
know,
like,
like,
girl,
Jesus.
I'd have been like,
Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Tune in. If you ever miss a show, tglradioshow.com. We're out.
Dr. Tammy, when